Hello and welcome to the next edition of 300 Seconds on Agency Growth. And today I have the pleasure of welcoming Hannah Dempsey. Hi Hannah.
Hi Patrick, thanks for having me.
Hannah is the VP of Marketing at Jellyfish. So 18 months you've been part of BrandTech Group. How have you made sure you brought your staff along on this journey?
You can't dictate a company culture from the top down. You have to understand kind of where, the behaviours and the values that actually come from the company itself. And I think that's been a pivotal thing that we've done probably in the first kind of 12 months, is really understanding who Jellyfish is now from the people that are working there and also the people you're bringing into the business. Our jellies are our biggest brand advocates. We want them to feel part of the new brand refresh. So we've brought them on this journey. We've had, regular updates in the town hall. This is where we are. There's been focus groups, talking about some of the things that we do.
How do you work with your growth counterpart at Jellyfish?
Mm-hmm. I will admit that in the past, our marketing and growth teams haven't been as joined up as they should be and have almost sat in silos. Over the last maybe 2 years, I think maybe even before the BrandTech acquisition, we've made some new hires within the growth team, some movement within the marketing team, and we are a lot closer now, making sure that we're all connected, we're all talking, working with Nick, our MD in the UK, to make sure that we are aligned, we're working on initiatives that we are going to hit our goals. It's a lot about communication and making sure that our sales teams, our growth teams are equipped with everything that they need, and equally, getting it back from them, and it's almost the kind of, what I talk about, like internal networking at Jellyfish. When you've got a company of, coming up to 2,000 people, a big part of my role is, and for the wider marketing team and other people in the company as well, is making sure you kind of know everybody, as many people as you can, and who does what, and building those relationships and growing your internal network. Who do they report to? What's their skill set? What's their superpower? I mean, certainly for me, looking after things like thought leadership, what's their area of expertise?
Yes.
And, that's especially true with the growth teams, but also client management teams. Who's looking after what client, that can change. Which clients have the potential to want to do some PR or case studies with us. You've got to be close to those teams to, I think, really succeed within not just marketing, but I think as a business.
What do you guys see as your biggest challenge for growth over these next couple of years?
I think there's just so many uncertainties at the moment. I think, politically, economically, I think you're kind of going into a bit of an unknown. I think that, what is coming out of the US at the moment,
Indeed.
I think, we're not changing our DEIB policies. Like, they're still very much at the forefront. He believes that, DEIB is really important for businesses and teams.
And your new tagline is?
Move faster, smarter, together.
Which I love, by the way. But what I find very interesting is you've moved away from the word performance, which is obviously the heritage of Jellyfish. How important is it for you as an agency to still keep your distinctive brand identity within the new group? Visually,
our new brand identity is similar to that of the BrandTech Group.
Right.
So we are, because we were going through this brand, it was, brand refresh and the brand positioning. As part of that, we made the decision to, alongside the BrandTech Group, to, ensure our colourways were similar. There's a nod in our logo in the Jellyfish to the ampersand within the BrandTech Group. We're starting to see more collaboration, and it doesn't, even though we are separate companies, it's a nice feeling that you can go to one of your peers within one of the BrandTech Group companies, and everyone's lovely and really supportive.
And if you had a or some advice for any other agency that was going through a rebrand, what advice would you give to them?
I would, going back to the quote from Good to Great, Jim Collins, it is understanding and listening to your people, listening to the people that you work with. I think sometimes there is a bit of hesitancy around doing that because people just feel like they're just going to get too many stakeholders involved. And, I think you really have to not dictate down. You have to really listen and understand what the culture is from the ground up.
Agencies are brilliant at advising clients how to orchestrate marketing to drive their growth. But weirdly, sometimes it's like they don't believe in the product they're selling.
Yeah, we are our own shop window.
Yeah.
Every email we send, every social media post we put out, every video, we do social media for some of the world's biggest brands.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that it really is best in class. And that's a challenge, but it's something that we at Jellyfish have to really focus on.
Well, as I say, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
It's
you
been
for
very,
having
very
me.
interesting. And thank you to our listeners and viewers. And please tune in next time for 300 Seconds on Agency Growth.